What would your reaction be if, suddenly, all your possessions and achievements accumulated over a lifetime were abruptly taken from you by an unpredictable force of nature? Feelings of indignation, discouragement, and a sense of injustice would probably overwhelm you. While these emotions are understandable, the pioneering philosopher of Stoicism chose to follow a different path in the ancient city of Citio around 300 years before Christ. He was a successful merchant whose prosperity resulted from years of hard work. However, during a sea voyage from Phoenicia to Tyre, fate reserved for him a shipwreck, taking away all the cargo he was carrying. This unexpected event, over which he and anyone else had no control, transformed this extremely wealthy man into someone who suddenly found himself stripped of everything, facing a situation of extreme poverty. At this time, when Stoicism was emerging, historical principles denied women permission to engage with this philosophy. However, followers of Stoicism contested this limitation. Rufus, Epictetus' mentor, expressed on one occasion that not only do men have natural desires and tendencies towards virtue, but women do as well. They find contentment in noble and righteous actions, just as men do. Therefore, why should only men walk the path of a virtuous life, while women should be excluded? In other words, why should women be denied the practice of philosophy, even in an era where this was not common? Women had the opportunity to gain knowledge about Stoicism and make small changes in their lives. They often trigger lasting effects, and a simple change in our way of thinking can trigger remarkable transformations. The core of Stoic philosophy revolves around acceptance and indifference. After assimilating the ideas of Socrates and other eminent philosophers, Zeno developed and spread this historical philosophy. According to this perspective, even though we have limited control over external events, we maintain full control over how we react to them. We must apply this ability masterfully, instead of regretting past losses or the current situation. Zeno chose to maintain serenity in the face of adversity, remaining calm and balanced in the face of challenges. Nowadays, historical Stoics are often recognized as resilient individuals who do not allow themselves to be carried away by emotional extremes, such as outbursts of anger or anxiety attacks. However, the original core of Stoicism was even more comprehensive. He transcended the simple image of impassive people and represented a worldview, a way of understanding and interpreting reality. It was a way of life that persisted through several eras. Stoic philosophy maintains its relevance to both contemporary circumstances and ancient times, bringing profoundly impactful benefits. Stoicism enables us to process negative emotions arising from adverse experiences and transform them into reflections that provide a unique perspective on the world. This perspective plays a crucial role, considering that people around the world experience different trajectories and interpret events in different ways. Due to the frequent practice of debates and the wide public dissemination of philosophy by the Stoics, their conceptions were widely disseminated. Driven by the belief that the principles of Stoicism could offer benefits to everyone, they saw no reason to restrict them to academic environments or elitist circles. As a result, individuals from all spheres of society, from the least privileged to emperors themselves, had the opportunity to absorb and adopt Stoicism. Among the most prominent historical Stoics are names such as Epictetus, whose fame is due to his career as a Cynic slave and prominent figure in politics, and Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor who is one of the most influential personalities in history. The first followers of Stoicism not only preached its principles, but incorporated them into their own lives, rejecting any form of segregation and leading the fight against inequality. They were the creators of the term cosmopolitan, which denotes the idea of being a citizen of the world. In contemporary times, this term evokes places like New York, Toronto, Dubai, and London, due to the rich diversity present in them. Given this scenario, many people choose to adopt Stoicism as a lifestyle, especially in a world characterized by unpredictable upheavals. Only when we are faced with challenges, especially when they surprise us, can we find a perfect analogy in rain. In essence, rain is beneficial as it nourishes our plants, provides water to the animals and maintains a pleasant temperature. However, when we are caught off guard by rain, the experience is not pleasant. The question that arises is, why don't we react with sadness to this situation? The answer lies in the unpredictability of rain. Rain, regardless of our preferences, is inevitable, and we have no control over the weather. Even if we don't appreciate it, the rain eventually stops and the sun shines again. Stoicism teaches us to adopt a similar attitude in the face of adversity. It is advisable that we anticipate the most challenging scenarios and seek comfort in preparing to face them. This process is facilitated by enduring high discomfort, a practice that reminds us of the importance of valuing what we have. It's the act of lying on the cold kitchen floor, opting for cold showers instead of hot ones, and temporarily adhering to a simple diet. Such actions demonstrate that even in adverse circumstances, we still have the ability to survive and perhaps even thrive, as long as our mindset is aligned when facing these challenges. We are sincerely training our minds to face future challenges with expertise in the current context, where we are constantly bombarded by advertisements that insinuate that happiness is linked to ephemeral trends, ideal beauty standards, or a specific amount of money. The message of Stoicism gains even more prominence in this era, where this perspective is more relevant than ever. We enter life without a definitive manual, and our learning evolves as we age, absorbing knowledge in our homes, educational institutions, and through direct observations. However, these sources often give us contradictory information, which can create unrealistic expectations for our lives. This undeniably exposes us to future disappointment and dissatisfaction. This is not the best approach to take. Instead, it is wise to direct our personal development toward our own intrinsic progress. Our actions must be motivated by our personal merit and nothing else, free from external pressure. Our actions often lead to disappointments as we try to fill an inner void with external elements, whether by spending money on material goods like luxury cars and extravagant homes, or by seeking validation through interpersonal connections and family ties. However, history reminds us that by adopting this mindset, we place our happiness in fickle factors. Cars can fail, and human relationships are ephemeral. Even the simplest things have a price that consumes both physical and mental space. The art of living with less space gives us the opportunity to focus on what really matters. Stoicism invites us to find our happiness in our intrinsic value as human beings, rather than in the material possessions we accumulate or aspire to achieve. We must choose to maintain serenity, regardless of the obstacles that life presents us with. After all, many of the events we face are beyond our control, but we have absolute control over our reaction to these events, which forms the core of Stoic doctrine. Therefore, we must direct our dedication and attention to what we can really influence. The essence of Hebrew wisdom comes down to distinguishing what is within our control from what is beyond our influence. It is crucial to anchor our value not in circumstances beyond our control, but rather in what we can truly shape. Pursuing goals is laudable, but historical teachings argue that becoming discouraged when we don't achieve them is counterproductive. Historical philosophy reminds us that success must be evaluated based on the effort invested, not just the final results. Having confidence in the process is extremely important. Choosing to live with less means breaking the social chains that we ourselves create. Imagine someone who has dedicated 6 months of hard work to a project in pursuit of a promotion. After all this effort, if the promotion is denied, that person may feel discouraged and incompetent. If she based her self-esteem on the quality of the work performed, maintaining perseverance in the search for promotion. By following your path, you would possibly discover greater satisfaction in the long term. This change in mentality is fundamental. An authentic follower of Stoicism does not measure success by financial gain, but rather by the ability to lead a comfortable life, embracing what is essential and sufficient. The foundations of this approach lie in the four historical virtues: wisdom, courage, temperance, and justice. Wisdom implies discerning between the internal and external, choosing to react with discernment to events. In the words of Viktor Frankl, there is a space between stimulus and response where our freedom and power of choice resides. Courage, summarized as persistence and resistance, is vital to face challenges. Temperance, or moderation, manifests itself in the ability to do more with less, expressing more with fewer words, as I illustrated previously. Unlike the quest for wealth accumulation promoted by figures like Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk, Stoics maintain that true wealth lies in the essentials and finding satisfaction there. The virtue of justice is of paramount importance, emphasizing that we should not harm others, as we were born to benefit each other. In this scenario, the outstanding South African leader who became an icon of reconciliation is Nelson Mandela. After spending 7 years in prison, influenced by Stoic principles, Mandela chose forgiveness rather than retaliation, promoting the construction of a unified nation. In the area of contemporary medicine, historical principles play a crucial role in approaches such as rational emotive behavioral therapy and logotherapy. The first helps patients recognize negative thought patterns that affect their emotions and behaviors, while the second is based on the historical idea that human beings are driven by purpose. In challenging times, we can find meaning and joy by discovering our intrinsic purpose in a world where the pursuit of happiness is often commercialized. The historic message of embracing simplicity and valuing our actions resonates more deeply than ever. Historical philosophy guides us through the storms of the past and present, guiding us toward calmer waters. Even if the ship sinks, we can at least find comfort in the certainty that we have lived a full life, even if it has deviated from the expected course. After all journeys have an end. If you enjoyed this informative and inspiring video, we would greatly appreciate it if you gave it a like and considered subscribing to the channel for more similar content in the future. Also, we'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Your interaction and support are of significant value to us. Thank you very much and see you in the next video.